I'm still, coming into the open source aspect, right? So coming from the business side of the VMware. So organizers, thank you for giving this opportunity. So to introduce myself, Sajith Ainikkal. Some of you have met me. My charter is to make you aware about these kind of technologies available, and so try to create a need for the solutions in the market, right? And looking back, I started this journey of cloud native, sales, or the getting into the cloud native world, right? It's coming from a completely an enterprise background. So it was like an ocean, right? So even I thought of, oh, this is totally different. Who is going to take this kind of technology? This I was talking about 2015, right? And fast forward when we are standing at 2023, right? And seeing so much of energetic crowd here developing cloud native technology, I'm excited. Are you all excited about to be part of this technology? Yes, great. So today, in the next few minutes, what I'm trying to cover is that what is VMware's role into this, right, in the Kubernetes and the ecosystem. Of course, my colleagues have talked about all the open source aspects. How do we contribute into the CNCF? How do we navigate into this complex space, right? But there is another aspect into that, right? So when we all familiar with the complexities of the CNCF landscapes brings in front of us, right? But when we look from the business side of it, right? So when an organization tried to adopt this technology, what are the challenges typically they face, right? So first and foremost, there is plenty of choices, right? From these choices, how do you use the right set of technology if you want to deploy a cloud native application on top of your choice of cloud, right? And it's not just about the developing the application. How do you improve the security posture of these applications, and how do you deploy it and you will scale it infinitely based on your application needs without impacting the delivery process, or if you want to do the day-to operations, how do you do that without disrupting your applications, right? And it is not only about the applications, even your entire platform, right? How do you add more nodes into that? How do you scale your platform itself and your apps without any downtime? And while doing this, right, one important aspect is, the cloud is all about choices, right? So when you embrace this choice, right, so how do you choose the optimum platform for that, right? So these are some of the aspects every time people are struggling to find answers, right? And from a VMware standpoint, we understand there will be a lot of choices, but the right path forward is that you are bringing some kind of, the right choices and creating a golden path for your applications. And this golden path, right, it will be on your choice of the cloud, right? And then you should be having solutions to address all the operational aspects, whether it's deploying, managing, and scaling applications seamlessly across the clouds, at the same time optimizing all your resources on your choice of cloud, right? And that the way VMware is uniquely positioned in this multi-cloud space. Of course, you are all familiar with the different cloud providers, different solutions available in the market, but if you look into that, right, most of these things are aligned with one set of clouds or the one way of doing that, right? But from an organizational standpoint, they always prefer, right? They don't want to get into a kind of a lock-in, but rather they want to be in a solutions which are truly multi-cloud in nature, right? This is where VMware is uniquely positioned with the Tanzu portfolio, right? Again, the Tanzu, when we talk about it, is just a portfolio. It is not a single product. There are solutions for the the developer productivity and operationalizing Kubernetes at scale. But today, the interest of the time, I would like to emphasize on two aspects. One is, how do we improve the developer experience across the cloud? And for this, right, when we talk about the developer experience, we need to look at into few aspects. how do we provide a pattern-based development experience, right? So because when you're developing cloud-native application, can I create ready-to-use the templates so that my developer doesn't need to get into all the complexities, right? At the same time, can I use some kind of available tooling, right? For example, Backstage, right? Can I use it for the self-service collaboration across clouds, right? And how do we provide an option to use the best-of-breed solutions that developer are already familiar with without compromising the security, right? So these are some of the developer experience aspects we need to address. And without compromising the security, right? So I'm sure some of you in this room are playing the role of a SecOps in the Kubernetes world, right? But if you look in depth, right, when you talk about the SecOps for Kubernetes or cloud native space, these are the some 5 areas we need to primarily address, right? How do you bring in the security while you are writing the code itself, right? How do you ensure that all the app dependencies the developers are using completely secure? What about the images you are using, right? You may choose an image from the publicly available repositories. What is the security posture of that? And what about the entire CI/CD itself? If your CI/CD setup itself is compromised, right, you are taking a huge risk. Then, of course, the runtime aspect, if you are going to with a managed cloud provider services, to some extent you can ensure that your Kubernetes is safe and secure. But what about the first areas? How do you secure this, right, without getting into the complexities? This is where we believe there is a security culture has to involve in the organization, and you need to embrace the open source to achieve this, right? This is where we have 2 unique propositions, right? And this is truly multi-cloud, right? You can deploy it on your choice of cloud. So Tanzu Application Platform and Application Catalog. So these are basically fast forward your journey into this. When we talk about Application Catalog, how many of you heard about the Bitnami? I'm sure all of you heard about the Bitnami. If you want to use Bitnami as part of your projects, right? So yes, there is a free version available, but if you want to have a hardened, secure images of the Bitnami collection with the proof of provenance, with all kind of vulnerability analysis, with the test report, all these things available under the VMware Application Catalog. And this is very important because if you are choosing some of the open source software, we provide a 200+ software for you to consume it, right? Then another aspect is that application platform. So this is kind of a PaaS environment on any Kubernetes, right? So think about you are bringing Kubernetes as a new abstraction and creating a complete secure CI/CD environment with all kind of guardrails for you, right? That is Tanzu Application Platform. Then it is having two key aspects, and we separated it as a inner loop, which is more important with the developer. What are the things a developer is more keen while developing on their own workstation or on a Kubernetes cluster? If you look into the way the organizations develop Kubernetes application, most of the time the inner loop is ignored, right? So we leave that into the developer to choose whatever tools they are familiar with and develop. Whereas in Tanzu Application Platform, we provide a lot of ready-to-use templates, IDE plugins, a capability to do the runtime debugging, all those things, so that while you're submitting your first Git commit, right, your code is created in a very seamless manner, error-free, and you have already tested in your environment without getting into the complexities of Kubernetes. From there, right, you check in the code, a predefined set of software supply chain will kick in, and we provide the few default supply chains so that organization doesn't need to worry about setting up their own CI/CD, because the biggest pain, so you people know better than me, right? You people work on this day in, day out, right? Writing a microservices is pretty easy, right? But securing your supply chain and doing it for multiple applications in a repeated manner, that is the pain point organizations trying to solve. So this is where the supply chain choreography feature of the application platform comes in handy. It is having all the components required for your supply chain. It is well stitched and given to you to use, right? But if you want to change it with any of other tool, for example, you want to change one of the scanning software with something you regularly use, or source code scanning with the Sonar Cube, everybody familiar, right? You want to bring in that. That is pretty straightforward in the Tanzu application platform. Then then another aspect, right? Many of you sitting in this room, right, playing the role of a platform engineer, right? So when you do a platform engineering job, where the VMware comes as a differentiator, we help the organizations to treat your Kubernetes as a product, right? So we talk about it's a platform as a product. So because what does it mean, right? So a platform as a product means that your platform should not break, right? You as a platform engineer, you need to interact and interface with a different organization and different team members. So all the practices required to make your developer happy, take care of your security end to end, and operate the platform on multi-cloud. So there is a lot of processes we have developed in our past 15 years of working on this cloud native technologies. Plus, right, we have all these solutions like Tanzu application platform and our Kubernetes runtime and the other services on top of it. That makes the life easier for platform engineers to run it as a platform. So with that, I'll conclude this shorter session. But if you are excited, feel free to meet us in the booth. We will be there. And one another aspect I want to emphasize here, right? We are hiring and we are looking for energetic engineers like you who are contributing to this exciting technology. So feel free to meet our leaders in the booth, right? And thank you once again. Enjoy your time.